Do 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 la 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 do do do. Oh, hello. My name is Reverend Terry Brookins, and this is Beaux Magique Live. It is January 10th. My God, what a long year this week has been. But it is January 10th. It is 8 p.m. It is the year 2020. And yeah, 2020. I hope you had a great holiday season, and I hope you had a fantastic new year, and I hope you are surviving the first 10 days. Hi, Jen. Nice to see you. Jen has joined us, everyone. As you can tell, I am in the offices at Beaux Magique. I got all my fantastic books over here. I got all my artwork over there. I got my bear buddies in the back. It's a fun thing. And of course, you can see my artwork in the back too. So excited to have real artwork. Yay! Um, as this is the office, I'd rather have artwork in here that I don't make. That way, so I'm more inspired by you. So if you make art, if you make paintings, please let me know. I might buy one just to be inspired in this space. Hi, Jessica. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. It is, sorry, I'm just got a new tee on and I'm kind of happy about it. It's so bright and pretty. Oh my goodness. There we go. Get my wig on straight. There we go. So, as I said before, this is January 10th, 2020. You are welcome, Jessica, for Amazing Eau de Floride. I enjoy it quite well. Many of you already know the story of how I started that, and I can tell it later. As we always do, I have to spam you with links first, just so we all know where we are and who we are and what we're doing. As I said before, hi, Nicole. I am Terry Brookins. This is Beaux Magique. There are lots of places you can find me online here at the Beaux Magique page where you already are. Imagine that. Hi, Isabel. Nice to see you. And yes, so here is the first link. This is the main site where you can see all the products I make, all the products that I may or may not carry with me at all times, because sometimes, you got to leave some mystery. And let's be real, I can't carry everything, and some stuff you just don't let, unexperienced people use. Just a smart idea. So yes, that is beauxmagique.com. That's where we are. I am active on the gram. You can see me on the Instagram, hanging out, and yeah, doing the thing, doing the gram thing, posting photos and all kinds of fun stuff. Good times, good times. And in case you're wondering, actually the painting at the top that you can't quite see, actually, let me just adjust the camera. So the painting over my shoulder at the top, that is all kinds of coolness, that was done by the fantastic Isabel Ford. So I can say I have an original by a fantastic painter. There is that. Right. Oh, hello, Alan. Nice to see you. So here we are. So yes, I'm on the gram. On occasion, I hang out on Tumblr, late follow backs, all the things. As you all know, Twitter is in there somewhere. Oh, there it is. Sorry, just trying to find links. And there is the tweeter. Oh, the tweeters, having so much fun. Yes, so if at any time you feel like you need to reach out to me and you can't get me on the gram or the Book of Faces or the tweeters, you can always send me an email, info@beauxmagique.com, and it is right there. Should be in the chat box. All right. Are we all here? Did I get everything? I think I did. I think I got all the, there we go. I think I got all the links. I think I got all the things. Right. The other thing is that events for this year are still in flux. They're still in play. We're still working on it. Still trying to figure out what we're going to do and where we're going to be. So your best bet is to follow here on the page at Beaux Magique on Facebook, or see the website which has a listing of all events. Hi, Jace, to Roots and Toots and Miss May. Yeah, so there we go. There are a lot of things that are happening in 2020. Like I said, what a long year this week has been. Holy moly, it is a beautiful spring day for the middle of winter because there's no such thing as climate change, right? Right. We are having a fun time in this world, and by fun, that is all the sarcasm all the time, and that's where it's going to happen. There are a few things I want to talk about with you today. Yeah, a few things I want to talk about with you going forward in your magic work. Now, for magic work, you all should be doing the homework, doing the bloody homework. And that homework is daily energetic exercises. That's right. Every day you should be cleansing yourself. You should be recentering your energetic body and shielding yourself and getting all your ducks in a row every day until it's on automatic. That way, when you leave the house, when you go anywhere, you're not thinking about it. You're not paranoid, thinking someone's going to throw at you, or you're going to fall in some trap, or you're going to walk under a ladder. You'll be fine. So that's number one. Hi, Twilight. So that's number one. Daily energetic exercises, do the homework. That way, when something does happen, when your world does try to get rocked, you won't. You just won't happen. Things will explode around you, and you'll be like, and give that beautiful galaxy shrug and go on with your life. It is very important that you do those things. Now, after you do the homework, then you have to be sort of proactive about things. Now, for anyone who's doing active magical work, we need to talk. We need to talk about some things that is blowing my ever-loving mind and makes me say, what the ever-loving what? The first one is that, hi, Evelor, nice to see you. The first one is that I know that we're all eager to show off what we do. We're all eager to share our experiences and the things that we do, the things that we love with other people. I get it. We want to share. But I'm telling you, do not share pictures of active altars, especially not on social media. It's a thing. I know that people want to share all kinds of things, and it's great. Active altars, not a good idea. That's also a matter of not sharing active spell work. I see this a lot in the groups I'm a part of. To be fair, in a lot of groups I'm part of, I just sit back, eat popcorn, and watch the entire show because some of it is like, oh my goodness. But I digress. So, don't share photos of active spell work. You may be asking why. Yes, ask me why. Hi, Deanne. It's because that people who don't like you, people who don't think that you should have all the things that you do have, which is your basic right, will target that active spell work and just try to cut you down. Bad idea. So if you're going to share something, share spells that are already done, completed, and you've moved on with your life. If you're going to share pictures of your altar, nothing that's active, maybe one from last year, that'd be great. But nothing that you're actually working on right now. This is a matter of survival, witchcraft survival, energetic survival. It's a thing. Hi, Brandy. Yes, Jen, that goes double for videos, right? There are lots of people who don't even think about it. They will share active photos of all kinds of things and wonder why their spells never come forward, and they wonder why spells don't work, and they wonder why suddenly that their life turns upside down. Yeah, bad idea. Yes. So the other thing about active work is something that we don't think about. It's sharing your birthday. Now, it's one thing to say, oh, you're a Cancer moon with a Gemini rising and a Sagittarius sun. I just pulled that out of my hat. It's one thing to say those things, and it's general, that's fine, but don't share your exact birthday with people, especially on social media, for the mundane reasons of it's real easy to get doxxed, because once someone has your birthday year, and most people, when you're doing any astrology work, they're going to ask where you live as well, and the full spelling of your name, so they can do all the numerology work. But when you're sharing that on an open forum like Facebook or any social media, you're just asking for someone to take your identity, screw up all your stuff. Just a bad idea. Yes, Deanne, maybe not the ancestors' altar either, unless your ancestors are cool. But when we talk about the birthdays, when you share all of that information, not just for the mundane reasons, basically you're now giving up your spiritual fingerprint so that someone can find you anywhere in the world. There are very few people who know my exact birthday down to the minute, and anyone who has that information keeps it very safe. I've had lots of in-depth tarot readings, lots of in-depth astrology readings where they needed all of the things. And usually when I do that for someone else, I ask for all of the things with the understanding that I'm not going to go sharing this stuff. I'm not even going to share a chart of your birthday because I think that's a bad idea. But that's just me. But yes, so I would say, please keep that information safe, just like you would keep a lock of your hair safe, just like you would keep, your fingerprints safe. Anything that could tag lock you in spell work, please keep that safe, people, because going forward in the year 2020, I do not want this to be a hindsight year where you look at all the things you messed up this year and you go forward going, wow, I could have done that a lot better. But there we go. I'm just going to adjust the camera here a little bit. There we go. Hopefully that it's on me. Nope, all the way. Close enough. All right, I'm a little fuzzy, but you like me that way. And I swear this is water this time because I'm getting old. Right. There we go. So there are lots of, like I said, those are things that we should think about going forward, keeping ourselves safe, keeping our information safe, because in this day and age that we live in, because it is, the year 2020, we are technically living in the future that we thought would never happen 40 years ago. And yeah, where we thought our DNA was so important in any spell work, now our information is. And of course, if anyone who does spell work, anyone that's done any defensive work, they can tell you that in lieu of a picture, and we all have to be careful about our pictures, if someone has your name, your birthday, what you like, what you don't like, they can basically triangulate your position in the world and target you for any spell work that is nefarious or good. So I would say that please be careful with your information, not just for mundane reasons, but for spiritual reasons. Please do not share any active spell work or any active altars, maybe even not your ancestors' one, unless your ancestors are cool with that, because some of them are. I will give them that. Yes, so that's what I would say for going forward in 2020. So now is the fun part, is that you ask me questions. Ask me questions. Tell me what's going on in your world. Share a photo of your shelf, your Beaux Magique shelf, which I think is kind of fun. Shelfies are a thing. You won't see mine because I have an entire lab. But there we go. Now, Brandy, you were saying that your wife connecting is not good. Is that connecting to the live stream or connecting to just work? You tell me. Ask me questions. Lots going on this year. Right now, let's see, what have I got going on? I am booking shows for 2020. Well, as people know, as my friends know, Alan, you be quiet. I tend to run myself ragged nonstop. So I think I've been going nonstop since maybe July of last year. And this winter, I slowed down, which means I unpacked everything from the car. Almost still got the shelves in there. I just don't have a place for them in the house. So I'm just trying to regroup, reconnect with myself and my spirits, and clean my altar and do all the spell work for myself and other people. And yeah, just have an interesting 2020. Recently on my personal Facebook, No You Can't Have It, is that I asked my friends where I should go for 2020. It was some interesting things. There may be house parties happening in the future. This year, I know I'm going to go to Winnipeg, so that's going to be fun. You'll get details of that pretty soon. I just have to sort out flight plans and things like that. And yeah, so lots of stuff is happening, and lots of stuff is happening in the future. Nicole Robinson asks, how do you connect with your ancestors? Hey, Jen, you shush. Okay, connecting with your ancestors, Nicole. That is an interesting thing. Just like I said, having information, that's what you're going to start with. Get as much information as you possibly can about your ancestors. Even if you don't know who they are in specific, you can find out who they are in general. So once again, if you're doing your daily energetic exercises, you already know how to align yourself and feel the energy around you. Then if you have a photo of them, then you can basically sit with them in a quiet place, in a quiet time, and try to connect with that energy in the photo. Or if you only have names and dates, that's enough. I mean, we've all can basically get on Ancestry and do their 30-day trial and find out as much as possibly can about who we are, where we come from. Now, here's the fun part. You may be adopted. That's fine. You may not know who your parents are, or your grandparents are, or your father or your mother. That's fine too, because there are archetypal ancestors out there. That's the ancestors with the big capital A that you can connect with. Don't forget that we live in an energetic world. We live in a place, in a time where spirits are all around us. They're ancestors of the land. They're ancestors of places that you go to, that you can connect with. They're ancestors in the trees that you can talk to. And eventually, you can still pass the message on of, hey, dear ancestors of the trees, I'm trying to find my people. Can you help me out? And you give them some hugs, some water, maybe some fertilizer, and they may just help you out. But yeah, so that is what I found. For myself, I am descended from slaves, which means there comes to a certain point in time where there are no more records. I have done the ancestry stuff, the DNA stuff, which basically skips from the 1800s back to whenever my ancestors got taken from Africa. So I actually only know up to a certain point. And yes, my ancestors, my people, they came from Yoruba land, which doesn't give me a person. But I know that I have ancestors who were slaves. I know that I have ancestors who fought the good fight, who escaped for freedom. I know I have ancestors who stayed behind to ensure that there would be someone to carry on the stories. That's a thing. Apparently, I'm not listening enough, so they're messing with my headphones. Good times. So yes, so you can still connect with ancestors, just maybe not the grand, visible thing that happens in all the movies where the clouds part and, the music starts, and then the ancestor comes. It may not be like that. It could just be the still small voice that tells you to turn around and not get hit by a car. Or it could be a feeling that you have that you are surrounded and you are loved and that you are being pushed forward. And if you are a spirit worker like me, and there are lots of spirit workers out there, you may find that you get adopted by spirits and ancestors. Because let's be real, we live in a time where not everyone knows where they come from, and there are many people who died without children. They died without a legacy, and they feel that they have unfinished business. It's really, really sad. But they are still on this plane. They're still looking to reach out, and they're still looking to connect with someone so that they can feel fulfilled. That is a thing. It's a sad thing, but that's the way it is. Nicole says that her ancestors are from Aboriginal from Canada and the islands. Well, Nicole, you have a one-up on everybody, because the very land we're in right now in Canada is your ancestral right. You can go up to any tree, any patch of grass, and connect. They are here. You, like I said, you got a one-up on everybody. There's a whole lot of steps that you can skip in that, but that's the way it is. Yes, Jace, we all know when I says that, I mean I never stopped. Ha ha, very funny. Because I found out a crazy thing. You know how I said that I'll sleep when I'm dead? The dead don't sleep. So I gotta slow down because I'm getting old. I swear it's water. So yeah, I am slowing down. I actually slept all the way to 8:30 today. Right, 8:30 in the morning. How did I'd be getting up right about now. But yes, I did sleep in. Hi, Alex. Nice to see you. Yes. Yes, Nicole, lots of tree hugging in your future. And Nicole, the fun part is that because there's so many people here who are Aboriginal, who are Indigenous, who are First Nations, their spirituality is active. It is always active. It has always been active. So it is alive. There is no reaching. There is no trying to wake up ancestors. They're just out and walking around waiting for someone to basically knock on their door and for you to go right in. So that's up to you. Does anyone else have any questions? Let me know. And make sure that you write them in the comment box and maybe put another message right in there, because all your messages come right there at the bottom and I can't quite see them all. So we have 11 people tonight. Hi, everybody. Yeah, yay, sleep. Yeah, well, sleeping's for the weak sometimes. But of course, my brain never stops. So I still have like my piece of paper right here, things that I'm writing down as I'm trying to do this. Woohoo! Good times, good times. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Hi, Tanya. Oh, thank you for the compliment. Don't practice voodoo, but thank you very much. Deanne asked about protection. You mean like just daily, everyday shields, or protection in spell work? Because I can talk about both for a little bit. For everyday shields, everyday protection, that's part of your daily energetic exercises, right? You can basically set yourself to build your shields every day, no matter what happens, even in your sleep. It becomes automatic, so you're protected every time you walk out the door, every time you leave your bed. So you can do that. In spell work, it depends on what you're doing. You could ask for additional protection from the spirits that you are working with, or the energies that you're working with. If you work with elements, you can ask for their protection. From the east, you can ask for winds to blow away anything that's going to affect you, fire to just burn everybody's house down. Well, maybe not that, but you know what I mean. Just burn down any opposition, water will wash it all away, and the earth will basically crush anything that will stand against you. You can do that. Anyone can do that. Hi, Janice. Nice to see you. My purification, hopefully that's the purification, either incense or oil. Yes, sure. Okay. Yes, the purification incense and oil is really strong, and it is not for any lightweights. If anyone is thinking about maybe trying it, just go easy on the stuff, especially incense. Only burn one a week. That should basically help you out there. I did say hello to Janice, one of my favorite mediums. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah. Nicole asks, does an altar have to be a big place, or can it be like one shelf? Your altar can be in an Altoids tin or a picture in your wallet. It does not have to be big. Remember, when we talk about altars, they're a place to do energetic work. It doesn't have to be big, because once you get those energetic exercises down and you work on your visualization, which is harder than it sounds, you can basically recreate anything in your mind and have that be your altar. So for myself, for a long time, my altar was on like a TV tray. That was it. It was so small. And then I had it really big. And then I had like 3 altars on 3 floors in my house. It was quite the energetic chaos, but it worked. Now it's a matter of I am the altar. Everywhere I go, I can work magic. Basically, if you give me a cup of water, a salt packet, and a lighter, we can throw down. We can make anything happen. We can manifest anything. We can just do all the things. I don't even need a candle. Worst case scenario, give me a match. We can make it happen. But that's also witchcraft survival. I'm going to write that down because I've said it twice now, and that might be a thing. Witchcraft survival. Can you imagine that as a TV show? Witchcraft Survivor. Oh man, I got to pitch that to somebody on YouTube. That'd be great. Yes. So Nicole, I hope that answered your question. Your altar does not have to be big. Your altar can be a painting, like just behind me, where it's just where you visualize all the things and you can energetically move all the things around so that they can happen. You can do that. Everyone can do that. It's a thing. Yes. So Alex asked for suggestions for setting intentions for the new year. Right. I love you, Alex. You're a beautiful human being. I got a problem with setting intentions because we all intend to do good things. Doesn't mean we actually do them. I could fully intend to wash dishes tonight. It may not happen unless I put a plan in place, plan in place to get it done, which means I have to get out of my own way, look at all the roadblocks in front of me, and find a way to move those roadblocks and get the things done. If I'm going to wash dishes tonight, that means I need to finish my live stream. I need to put some shoes on because I'm sitting down. What do I need shoes for? I need to get up the will to live to go down and wash the dishes. I don't want to wash dishes, but if I wash dishes, that means the sink is clear. If the sink is clear, that means I can cook something else. So there may be tacos in my future. Tacos. So that's my motivation to get the dishes washed. Sure, I can intend to do it and never do it. But unless you have all the pieces of the puzzle, your intention, your plan, understanding your own motivations, and a reward at the end, it's not gonna happen. You know? It's just not going to happen. But yeah, you got a plan. And there are lots of people who set magical intentions and they think about them every day. I also intend to win $1 million. I think about winning the lottery every day. Doesn't mean I'm going to buy a ticket. How many people do we know who want to win all the things, who don't want to work for all the things, and never buy in, never buy a ticket? So, sure, you can make that intention. You got to have a plan, the motivation, the will, the reward at the end. Oh, snap. Means you got to work. What was I thinking? Yes, you have to work that intention. You have to actively move toward it. You have to make decisions and choose to work toward it, even though it's hard. I fully intend to sell out at every show. What does that mean? Long days in the lab, so I make the products to sell out in the show. It's not rocket surgery here, people. But for some people it is, because they bought into the whole idea that if you set an intention, that's all you have to do. Doesn't work that way. Sadly, it's not all the pieces of the puzzle. What can you do? And then they'll come to spirit workers like me and energy workers like me. Oh my goodness, what's so wrong with my life? I fully set intention to find a new partner in my life. And I basically say, so, did you go out? Well, no. Did you put yourself out there? Well, no, they will come to me. No, they won't. No, they won't. This era that we're moving into, you got to meet the spirits. You got to meet the energy of the universe halfway. You got to go out there, because I assure you, your ancestors, your spirit guides, your gods, all those energies out there, they want you to succeed. They want you to do all these fantastic things. You still have to work. I assure you that I was given these gifts upon birth. They were handed down to my ancestors. But if I didn't work my you know what off to learn how to make them safely and properly, to use my design skills to make labels, to overcome my anxiety and my fear of speaking, to get on live stream, and my friends will tell you how much I hate live streaming, it's not going to happen. If I didn't do all of those things, it's just not going to happen. So, yes, so Nicole asks again, she would like to start her training with the craft. Where'd you find a start point? Books, podcasts, find a teacher. Holy cow. All right. There are lots of books out there. As you have, if you're Indigenous First Nations, you need to find your local friend center, your friendship center, and go talk to them. Number one, the end, because there's a whole structure for you already there that you don't have to fight for. Yeah, Alan will motivate my dishes away. So yes, but with the craft, there's a whole lot of things that could mean craft. If you're Indigenous, First Nations, Aboriginal, you have a completely different set of spiritual skills available to you that are completely different from North American witchcraft, European witchcraft, all the other things that share the craft name. So you might have to be a little more specific about what you want to do. But yeah, there are lots of good things that you could do. There are lots of good places that you could start. One of those places, let me throw it up here. So I would suggest witchschool.com. It sounds ridiculous. Just go with it. Witchschool.com is a fantastic place. It is a fantastic magical education. I am a second degree Corellian priestess, so I have gone through witch school. There's great support out there as well. You get mentors assigned to you if you decide to go forward, and it's really, really good. The first degree, you get a baseline for everything, and I'm talking energy, spell work, gods and goddesses, the energetic and psychic tides that are around us. You can do that, and you can do that anywhere. Hi, Pamela. Hey, woo! Nicole says that she's a kitchen witch. Well, I'll be at your house for feast. Ding! Yes, so kitchen witchery is a thing. It is had many names before, and will always be around because, let's face it, we like to eat. And let me tell you, serving God is delicious. Oh my goodness. But yes, you can do a whole lot of kitchen witchery, and basically you don't need to spend a whole lot of money. Your altar is your spice rack. And you can get a spice rack from almost a dollar store and make all kinds of things happening. And that's something else that I find really interesting, is that people want to spend a lot of money. You don't have to. Now, let me be real. If you have money that you're sitting on, you're going to cheap out on your spirits and your gods. I am not responsible to anything that happens after that. Not my thing. But invest in your relationship with your gods, with your spirits, to show them exactly who you are and how much you're willing to put in. Because putting in money doesn't always equal work, but it shows how serious you are. For example, um, when we give offerings, often it's alcohol. And there's a reason for that in North American and European, well, North American witchcraft and what I've been exposed to. We give alcohol, we give sweets, we give these complicated meads and drinks because those things take a lot of time to make. I don't know about you, but when I make pound cake, that's an all day thing. Um, these things are luxuries, so they cost money. So if you're going to go buy, a Mickey whiskey, it ain't cheap, right? It's basically an hour's worth of your work if you're making minimum wage, if not more. You get the good whiskey. Let's be real. Um, However, it represents investment in time and you recognize value. So if I'm going to give my sister a gift, I'm not going to go to the dollar store. I'm not. I'm going to go find some place where it's really expensive and figure out what she would like. Maybe I don't put a whole lot of time into making the thing, but I'm going to put a whole lot of time and effort in choosing the right thing for her. That makes any sense whatsoever. So kitchen witchery, beautiful, and it's delicious. And when you make food, when you make drinks, when you make hot soup, does anyone remember when one of their ancestors who's passed or one of their grandparents, whatever, made them food when they were sick? The whole story about the chicken soup thing where grandma's chicken soup was always the best. And you don't know why? Love and magic. That's what it is, people. When someone who loves you, when someone who cares about you makes a thing for you, they're transferring their energy, their prayers, their good wishes to you in that dish, and you consume it. It is literally communion with the gods. You're doing a little bit of magic right there in a cup. I don't know if I can make it any simpler, but it is pretty cool. Hi, Tamika. Hi, Leah. Yeah, soup. Well, it's still technically a spring day. It was up to 8 degrees day, so you could have had soup. But yes, so serving things and making meals for people is a ritual, is a divine experience all by itself, because you're literally taking all of these seemingly random things, putting them together in one place, and coming up with a delicious meal. Who would have figured that out? I'll tell you a story. So this past week, my husband and I did holiday dinner with the in-laws. Great. Terry, in her beautiful ADHD moment, put the turkey in upside down. Oops. So we didn't realize this until like maybe 3/4 of the way cooking. Hi, Michelle. So Mark's like, well, the breast is on this side, and the stuffing is spilling out, and the wings are over here. It's upside down. Mea culpa. So we turned it right side up and put it back in the oven. My goodness, that was some juicy turkey. It was pretty darn good. And then the in-laws come over, and mom-in-law's like, "Oh yeah, I read about that on the internet, on the intertubes. People turning their turkey upside down to make the breast nice and juicy." I'm like, okay, I did it by mistake. But in that moment of it'll be fine, having that idea that no matter what happens, it'll be okay. Magic. And it was good. Oh, and the turkey stock. Wow. Okay. I'm not sure who made Instant Pots, but I'm pretty sure they were a wizard. Hi, Marcy. Yeah, Instant Pots, wizardry. Because I made turkey stock from the bones and the carcass in about 3 hours. Unreal. Unreal. It was so good. It smells delicious. Have some turkey stock, some rice. Delicious. Oh my goodness. So yes. All right. If you have any more questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will just wax poetic about food and deliciousness. Yeah, because that's a thing. I'm not sure what that means, Jen, but okay. Yeah, so lots of fun things happening. We still have turkey. We will have turkey forever. The turkey was free. What do you want me to do? There was a span of a few months where every time I went to the grocery store, I got something for free. By the way, that's another thing we need to talk about, specificity in spell work. So for like 3 months, I got something for free. The first time, it was a free blanket. Score. The dog loves it because they can't get it back from her. Of course. The second time, it was a dish set, right? A dish set. Okay, there are red dishes. I'm okay with that. Ding. And then the last time I went that I got something free, I got a turkey. Now, it's just my husband and I. We are only two people. And as much as I like eating, because let's be real, there is no way the two of us are going to eat a 15-pound turkey. It's not going to work out. So we had holiday dinner at our house. Woo! Marcy asked, when am I coming back to visit? That is a good question. I don't know. Um, right about now, I'm just working on a whole bunch of things in the background. I am in play, but I am working on it, Marcy. I promise. I just don't know when that's going to be. Sorry about that. Mercy is asking, when am I coming back to visit? Probably in the States. And the answer to that is, I don't know. Depends on how it all works out. Yeah. And if anyone else has any questions, please do let me know. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Right, free turkey. So I'm not sure what that was about, but specificity. Right. So we need to talk about some other words that make me a little nervous. One is abundance, and the other is prosperity. Now, those two things do not mean what you think they mean. They sound really good if you put them in a sentence, and if you hear people talk about, intend to have, put out your intention for abundance in your life. What that means is just that you'll just have more stuff and more stuff. You have an abundance of stuff. You will have more stuff unless you're specific about what you want. Gotta be specific. Now, prosperity. Prosperity is another thing that does not mean what you think it means. It just means that what you have will be more than you need. So, if you ask to be prosperous in your wallet, you will have just what you need and maybe a little bit more. Don't plan on buying a car or, going out to eat. So if you ask for to have prosperity in your life and you need $18, you will have $18. You might get a 20. So you'll be able to have that $18 for whatever you want and $2 left over. Yeah, prosperity. I had such a problem with it that I actually have an oil that is prosperity oil, and I stopped selling it in person because it bothered me so much, because I had to warn people, right? I had to say, it doesn't mean what you think it means. It means that you will get money, just what you need and maybe a little bit more, and that's it. Now, in the wild, this is how the abundance thing works. You ask for abundance in your life. Great, fine, whatever. And one day you're like, where are all the spoons? Do we have spoons? I'm not sure. Are all the spoons clean? Q 48 to 72 hours later, you now have an abundance of spoons in your life. Someone says, by the way, I'm not using these, and they hand you a full sterling silver set. Well, you got spoons now. Bing! Yes, that's how abundance and prosperity works. So if you're looking for money, ask for money. Ask for enough. Ask for more than enough. Ask for like $10,000 more than you need, so that you will get just enough and be prosperous and have a little bit more for all the things. Now Nicole is asking that she's doing the homework. Yay! And notice that in the last week, more tired and don't think the protection is working. Can you make it stronger? Yes and no. Well, if you go to witch school and you do their first degree and do a lot of reading, you will find what we talk about as psychic tide. So energy coming in, energy coming out. Um, the past week has been really, really weird because as of today, well, it's the full moon in Cancer, so everybody's crying. Um, it's a lunar eclipse, so everyone is crying and then suddenly feeling like they're fine and crying again. And we're moving into a new energetic age. I don't have any astrologers online right now, or they would tell you that lots of energy is shifting. Energy is always shifting, and as you do more energetic work, you will be more sensitive to it. So when we talk about making your protection stronger, you have to find out where it's weak to begin with. So if you're going to patch a tire, you don't just put new tire tread on it. No, you got to find where the leak is and plug that. And then, basically your tire will finally work. So you have to figure out where your protection is weak before, and you fix all the weaknesses. For myself, I used to have a problem visualization. So it'd be a lot of third eye work. I was blocked for a very long time. So what that means is energetically, I would just walk in the shit, right? I would just walk in like, oh, I'm the only person here who knows what's going down, and it's not going to be fun. So I had to basically have that open for me, realize that was a weakness, and patch that from the inside out. Protection is strong. Now I realize that, oh yeah, I see what I'm walking into. I'm probably gonna walk into it anyway because that's who I am. But there you go. Yeah. Hi, Lindsay. Hi, Janine. Nice to see you. Hi, Meredith. Um, but yeah, so you have to figure out where it's weak on the inside. And a lot of that is part of the energetic homework because you literally are scanning all your energy centers to figure out if they're spinning the right way, if they're moving the right way, if they're blocked. And then once you address that, you will be able to unblock that or at least work on that energetically. So a little blockbuster oil goes a long way so that your energy now flows. Someone who I love very much told me recently that she says I've grown into my power, which is hilarious because I always feel like an imposter. And that it sort of settles about me like, a dramatic cape, which I have, it. But I don't think about it. And for many years, I would sit and I would worry about, are my shields strong enough? Do I have enough? Am I doing it right? You got to do it to begin with and then keep doing it because starting at energetic homework, feeling weird is a start. They're training wheels. No one gets it perfect the first 2,500 times. You just keep trying on it. You just keep trying it. You just keep trying. And then one day you won't notice it. Um, I worked with Andrea Vitamus, and from him I learned the waterfall technique. And his good friend Zach Louis, I learned waterfall meditation, which is cleansing, you know, shielding, all of that stuff, and it's tied into the water, which works for me because I am in contact with so many people so often, and I work with water with Beaux Magique that every time I wash my hands, because I've done the visualization so much that my energy resets and gets back into alignment, cleanses, heals, and then shields go back up every time I wash my hands. I don't think about it. I don't think about it anymore because I've done it so much. The only time I'm even conscious of thinking about it is if I feel like I'm discombobulated. Suddenly I'm washing my hands and I'm feeling better. Maybe one time out of 100, I realize, oh, this is tied into the waterfall meditation. Cool. Right. Leah, yes, I do make a blockbuster oil. I will have to make something different for you. Mwah. Um, Yes, so I hope that answered some of your questions. You can always ask me more questions. Let me know if it wasn't clear. But yes, so you really should work on where your energy feels the weakest and then adjust from there. Like, there you go. Do do do. This is still water. I promise this time it's still water. Do do do. Little lip balm. Ba ba ba. Because technically I'm human. Odds, whatever. Ah, yes. Um, so if we're gonna talk about energy work and witch school, um, and oils and all kinds of stuff. So if anyone hasn't noticed, if you haven't been to the website, there are lots of oils. I have like 67 of them. And then there are lots of incense. There's like 12 or 13 of them now. I don't even know anymore. I just passed the car, and sometimes they make themselves. Win. Yeah, so check out the website, see all the stuff that's there. Um, yeah, you can see all the products that I have. And as I said before, some that I don't necessarily carry with me, but I do keep around because, I never throw away a recipe. And just going to pop the link in there. Um, Jen asks, how is the best way to figure out which element technique works for you to cleanse, shield, etc.? Trial and error. Sadly, it is trial and error. Um, and could be part of your spiritual makeup as well. Because like for myself, I'm an earth sign, I'm a Taurus. Woo! But in my complete astrological chart, there is earth, there's fire, there's air, there's no water whatsoever. Zero. So basically, as my friend Kate says, I have no chill. Um, but that's why I work with water. That's why I work with fluids. That's why I wear a lot of blue, because I am supplementing that water. I'm supplementing what is missing in my spiritual makeup. Um, some people depends on their makeup. Some people, even though they have an affinity with fire, or if they're a fire sign, they like working with fire. It's a thing. And then fire cleanses, fire heals, fire creates. But we also have to remember what these elements do and what they represent. Fire represents creation, two things coming together and doing something really cool. And it is a living, breathing thing. Um, water. Water usually represents spiritual knowledge. So, and water also flows. If it sits still, it stagnates. Wow, I gotta write that one down too. Good thing I'm recording. Um, so water always flows. Water always it always wants to find not necessarily the lowest place, but it will work very slowly to find its way through any block whatsoever. And if you give it enough power, it will basically work just like a laser. There you go. Lindsay. Okay, Lindsay, I will talk to you later. Um, yes. Um, so you have to figure out what works for you, and it's like I said, it's a lot of trial and error. For myself, it worked. It started with the meditation. So, full disclosure, I can't do meditation sitting still. It does not work for me. I will fall asleep, or because of ADHD, I will just vibrate out of my skin. So the whole sitting and in yoga classes does not work for me. For me, my meditation is drumming. I'm actively meditating. I'm actively engaging my body while my mind is somewhere else. It also works like that with shielding and meditation. Once I learned that about shielding and meditation, it depends on who you are. When I talk about shielding with people and I want them to visualize what it is, I tell them, for a shield can be as simple as a piece of clothing. If it's 40 degrees below outside, are you going to walk out in your pajamas? Probably not. Probably. Canadians are weird. But yes, so you're going to put on a coat. You're going to put on some long johns, some pants, and some boots. Imagine that as your shield. If you're going to go outside and it's 40 degrees above and the sun is blaring down, you're going to probably have a hat or an umbrella. That is your energetic shield. That's how it works. So you have to figure out what works for you, what imagery works for you, what imagery is easier to carry, because once you can imagine these things and you can hold it in place, it takes more energy to hold it in. I don't have to imagine wearing clothes because I'm actually doing it. If I want to protect my third eye, if I want to protect my crown chakra, I don't have to imagine wearing something on my head or having a helmet. I actually do it. I don't think about having to protect my throat chakra that's exposed. I actually have a necklace that does it. So here's the other part. If I'm ever without these things, it still doesn't matter because I'm so used to having them on. I dream about these things. I dream about having clothes on. I dream about my necklace. I dream about my silver dimes as earrings. I dream about having my Tignons on. So that if I'm ever without it, it doesn't matter. I can fully imagine that it's there, what it looks like, what it feels like, what it smells like, how my necklace tinkles and makes funny noises when the lapis clinks together. I know those sounds. I don't have to imagine very hard. So energetically, it's easy to do. There you go. Yeah, Jenna, I hope that answered your question. Um, Nicole says how to use one of her sprays once it smells like sweetgrass or fond d'oeuvre. So basically, using any of the sprays, you can use them like body sprays or room sprays. If you use it on your body, literally, 2 pumps over the head, 2 or 3 pumps over the head, take a deep breath, and go. You should be fine. You can meditate with it. You can spray your room with it. Please do not drink it. Do not put it on your or in your bits. I'm supposed to say this because people are weird, but yeah, so you can just do that. Don't spray it in your eyes, like I said, not up your nose, not in your ears, just around you. I find that there's some people who are really fantastic. They like to, after they have a shower, they'll spray their hair so that the scent stays with them all day. And if you're in a scent sensitive place, because sensitivities are a thing, you can literally just spray your shoes because all the major veins of your body run through your feet as well as your hands. You can just do that. Marcy says time to go back to work. Thank you, Marcy. Yes, so Alex says that dancing helps for meditation, but the washing their hair worked one too. Yeah, it does work. Because you want to connect your spiritual power, your spiritual energy with mundane things that you already do, if that makes any sense. So like we tell people to watch what they say, because words are power. That's why they call it spelling. Yes, yes, and yeah, that kind of works. So when your friends get down on you and they give you know what for talking bad about yourself, they're kind of right. They're kind of right. And friends who do that, honestly, we're just trying to fight the imposter syndrome. That's why we say these stupid things out loud. We know that we're fine. We're just trying to work things out. Leah says, water psychic powers. Water psychic powers are a thing. There's a reason why people are just addicted to the ocean and they love swimming and they love basically waterfalls, and you gotta watch them at Niagara Falls because they might go, in, and that'd be a bad thing. But yeah, water's a huge, powerful thing, but so is fire. You know, there are people who are transfixed by the flame, and as humans, we've been pretty obsessed with fire for a very long time. Um, and even Earth. I don't know if anyone's been to the mountains or the Grand Canyon and seen these wonderful just creations of the earth. Even the redwoods, which I really want to see. Um, you know, Lake Louise. Oh my goodness, Banff. Oh, just amazing things. Ottawa. Pembroke. All these places have amazing things that the earth has made, and even the wind. The wind is fantastic. You've seen the clouds and what they do and how the wind sculpts them. It's everywhere. Magic is everywhere. And we just have to figure out how we're going to do it, and figure out what works for us. As an earth sign, one of the things is that people used to tell me all the time, it's like, "Oh, Terry, you seem all over the place." I'm ADHD, but you should just totally ground yourself. And I got so frustrated for a long time because I couldn't explain to them at the time that I am the ground. There is no grounding. I'm already grounded, probably grounded up to my nose, and I can't breathe anymore. So basically, I need air. I need to lift up. I need to get some water in me. I need a little bit of fire to just move things around. So it depends on what works for you, because magic is everywhere. Excellent. So do. Yeah, Janice, the shoes are a thing. I was blown away when I realized about the shoes, and shoe magic is a thing too. Um, what I really like to do is when people buy the uncrossing, it's like, just put in your shoes, and suddenly it's a ludicrous video. Move, get out the way, just move things out of your way. Little road opener, move things out of your way. Of course, you got to be careful with those things, because if you use road opener in your shoes, it also opens the roads going backwards. So you got to keep your head on straight for that. That's a thing too. Do. Here we go. Here we go. I'm just going back through the comments here, making sure that I've got to everyone. Yeah. I hope we're all okay. We're all doing all right. Sorry about that. Got transfixed by the red button that's on my screen. I don't like fire at all. Every earth sign is a secret pyro. Don't ever let them fool you, because at our hearts we have flame. It's a thing. It's a thing. All right. So who else we got hanging out with us tonight? Nicole asks us, which school an actual place or online? Which school is actually online? So you can do it anytime, any place that you have an internet connection. And that's kind of a fun thing, because you don't necessarily need to have books. You don't have to buy anything. It's all there, all online. The people are real. The people who make the classes are real. I've taken a good chunk of those classes, I assure you. And yeah, and basically their website has a whole new look. And yeah, I am really, really happy with it. And yeah, it's all fun. I can see all the classes that I've taken, and it's a lot of fun. There are lots of stuff. They have like 35 free classes. Free classes, free classes, free classes, free classes. We can learn all kinds of things. Just saying, because free is fantastic. Yes, so they have 35 free classes that span all kinds of things. You're looking at, for the free membership courses, Mystic Secrets, the first degree, looking at wands, goddesses, what to do before you cast a spell, a whole lot more. Pagans in the law, grimoires, spell writing, magical names, unicorns, athames, basic herbs, basic meditations, rituals, some tarot in there as well. And we're actually working on having classes in different languages as well. So that right now we've got some Dutch, we have a little bit of Spanish. Yeah, so it's a fun place. You should definitely look at all the stuff and have a good time there, because it's a fun place. Yep, witchschool.com, Nicole. That's the place. And if you decide to become a supporting member, there are all kinds of things: herbalism, numerology, aromatherapy, civilizations, divinations. And yeah, if you get a lifetime membership, which is, yeah, no, not lifetime. I'm sorry. Supporting memberships, which are all kinds of fun. 180 bucks a year, you have access to all of those things. You can register a whole bunch of courses at a time, access to more mentors, extensive library materials. So it's a fun place. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a second degree priestess. I'm saying that because it's good information. And as we talked about before, information is a powerful thing. Information about ourselves, information about what we do, information about who we are is very amazing and very telling. And you should always guard that with everything you have. Now, Jen asked me, is there a good resource to find out about head coverings and which ones may or may not be appropriate for yourself? Yes, but I'm not sure that it's free. Um, I remember this. Let me see if I find the right source. Now maybe we can get this at your library, but we will have to figure it out. Let me see. Books. I had this bookmarked. Yes, so there's a book by Georgia Scott. It's called Headwraps: A Global Journey. I am going to put a link to it in the chat. Please note, I do not have any affiliation with this book or affiliation with Amazon. So if you buy it, that's on you. But just throw a coin to your witch. That'd be great. But yes, so this book, Headwraps: A Global Journey, maybe you can get your library to get it. It talks about head coverings all over the world. We're talking Czech Republic, Malaysia, Yoruba, and all that and more. And hey, if someone would like to have it, or would someone like me to have it, because I don't have that one yet, I've only vaguely touched someone else's copy and I wasn't allowed to get too close to it, please send that my way. That'd be awesome. But yeah, so that is a good resource. Yeah, there are lots of other resources, but I'm not sure about them. That one I know for sure is going to be a better resource for you. And headwraps like I have on, are a little bit culturally appropriate. I mean, well, they're culture appropriate for me, but maybe not everyone should wear them. And the idea is that, okay, so history lesson. Once upon a time, slavery. There we go. In Louisiana, the governor was harried by his wife. Basically, she was upset that the free women of color were very beautiful and would take all the white men. Breathe through this for me, okay? So, at some point, the governor's wife harried him enough where a law was put into place where Black women, free women of color, ex-slaves, slaves themselves were not allowed to have their hair out. So you'll see, if you Google Tignon, Tignon, Tignon law, you will see pictures of older slave women who have just a white scarf on. Always have something on your head. You're not allowed to have your hair out because mulatto women, free women of color, Black women who had access to anything that could style their hair to make them feel better about their situation, banned. Bad idea. So, in a beautiful act of civil disobedience, because we know what that is, boys and girls, um, free women of color, free Black women said, "Oh, I can't have my hair out." Okay, so they basically found the brightest fabric and wore it in the most elaborate ways possible on their head to to basically still catch the attention of anyone that goes by. Now we will a lot of places will sort of give you who invented the Tignons or where they came to be, but the idea is that um, we remembered the slaves remembered, I would say through genetic memory, that at some point we remembered how to tie these things, how to tie these Tignons, and they're called geles sometimes, Gele, because that's how they wore them back in Africa. I'm just gonna put a link in the chat about um, Tignons, and the website is Face to Face Africa. And there's one more I want to share with you. Do 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 do. Here we go. And the second one is called the Wrap.life. It's a blog. It's a good blog. But yeah, so they will go a little bit more in depth about Tignons. So yeah, so here we are. Can't wear a hair out, so we're gonna wear the brightest, biggest colors possible. And basically these things like went up like maybe 2 feet in the air. You can't ignore that. Well, you could, but good luck. So yes, so that's where the Tignons came from. And as time went on, as the natural hair movement in the 60s and 70s went forward, the Tignon fell out of favor, and many women started to wear their hair natural, and that's perfectly fine too. I enjoy wearing Tignons for a few reasons, spiritual reasons, like we discussed before. Um, it makes me more aware of my appearance and more aware of how I feel in my own body. I like the way I look with these. I also like my natural hair, too, which I did fun stuff with. Um, but when I leave the house, I like wearing Tignons. When I'm at home with myself, I like looking at my natural hair, and that's really what it's all about. Um, so yes, that is Tignons. That is the cultural sort of history in a nutshell about Tignons. And yes, so you would. Oh, it's one more. One more. No, I don't have one more. Sorry. No, I do have one more. And this one's basically about the Tignon laws that happened in 1786. So Tignons have been around for a while. Do do do. Do do do. Closing windows. All right, so when it comes to head coverings, there are lots of other cultures and spiritualities that wear them. There are a few Jewish women that wear them for their Shabbats. I know that there are a thing in, like I said, Czech Republic, in Malaysia as well. And we're not just talking like, nuns with habits, right? And giant, priest hats. Covering your head has always been a thing, even in southern churches now. It is always appropriate for women to have something on their head. There are lots of reasons why. The accepted, idea is that it just shows respect to God and to their gods and things like that. But you can do that. Um, yes, and of course, in Southern churches, you'll see the giant church hats, which kind of look like gaylets, but there we go. So giant church hats are a thing. I don't think I have a head for hats, but I like my Tignons. I like the way they look. I like the way they feel. Right. So there are lots of places that have them, lots of spiritual and cultures that have them. It would just depend on what you want to do and what part of your own culture that you want to work with. There we go. Yes, Alex. Covering hair for spiritual work is a thing in lots of traditions, um, and it's the same with other forms of dress as well. It's not just covering your head. In recent times, maybe the past 3 years, I really enjoy wearing a skirt of some kind when I'm doing spiritual work. Not necessary for what I do, not necessary for anything. I just feel better doing it. And that goes with robes as well. And it's also when we talk about dress and hair coverings for spiritual purposes, we're also talking about what is called a shift of consciousness. And the shift of consciousness is in one of those Rich School free courses, so I suggest that you go look at those. But yes, so the shift of consciousness is when we tell our spirits that, okay, it's time to work. You know, stop dreaming about, chocolate pudding. Time to work. I'm trying to manifest chocolate pudding now. But yes, so it's a shift of consciousness. So for myself, when I'm doing spiritual work, when I'm doing, any sort of work where I am Reverend Terry, the Tion goes on. I try to wear a skirt. If not a skirt, then definitely something that's flowing around me. And that's really why I like the skirts, because it reminds me of the energy flow, working with water. See how it all works together? It's all coming together. So that's why it works for me. And someone else has just joined us. Hi, I can't see your name yet, but hello. Nice to see you. Yeah, so lots of fun things. Do 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 do. So please ask me more questions. Otherwise, I will go to sleep. It's been that long a day. I swear it's just water. Oh. Oh, it's Nikki. Hey, Miss Nikki. So, fun things. Seeing Miss Nikki there has reminded me. In case anyone is wondering, I am Black. It's a thing. I know. The other thing I am is from New Orleans. January 6th was a big day because it's Epiphany. And if it's Epiphany, that means Mardi Gras season begins. Woo! Woo, woo, woo. Yes, I love Mardi Gras season. It is a time where we indulge. We indulge a little bit too much, but then we give it all up. It's a fun time. And yeah, it's a fun time. Do do do, it's king cake time. Do 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 do. But of course, I can't get king cake. I'm gonna have to manifest that and set some intentions because I miss my king cake. Right. So we are just hanging out. Nikki's laughing at me, as people do. Um, right. Do do do. Yeah, king cake. It's a thing. It's a thing. I love king cake. A little bit too much, but that's just a thing. It's okay. It's a thing. It's a thing. Hanging out there. Yeah, I know, Janice. I'm sorry. I hate to disappoint you. I'm Black. I don't even know. I just woke up like that one day. I don't know what happened. Just woke up. I was Black. What am I gonna do? Nicole asked, "Do I teach?" Rarely. Only because for me to come out and to do the teachings, I need to have a class full of people, And so many people say that they're going to do they put out the intentions to come to a class and pay for a class, and then they never do because they don't actually plan to do it. Um, so yeah, I teach very rarely. Um, but sometimes it does happen. Hi, Wolf Pup. Nice to see you. Um, Rarely happens, but you never know. It's going to be an interesting year for sure. Do 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 do. Yeah. So I've had classes. I've taught tarot. I've taught uh, tarot, um, pendulum work, basic astrology. Um, Definitely the crazy candle magic class where we promised the first two rules of candle magic, which is one, fire safety, and two, I'm serious, don't burn down your house. So always remember those first two rules and you should be okay. Um, Janice wants cake. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's Mardi Gras season. Okay, I got my gold on, and then pretty soon I'll have my purple, my green, and my gold, and it'll be fun, right? And then we'll have cake and Mardi Gras beads and indulge in life. Because life is awesome. But it'd be great. It'd be great. Sure it will. Sure it will. Excellent. Nicole asks if I go by my own name. Do I go by my own name? What is a witch name? A thing. It depends on what you want to do with the magical names. I use my own name because that's easier for me to remember. I am energy efficient. I am not lazy. Um, but if you have a magical name, I would suggest that you don't use it in public because now it's a magical piece of information that is definitely tied to you. And yeah, there we go. Now, if you need to, because being doxxed is a thing, or being exposed, sure, you can use a magical name, let's say online and or in a separate profile, and then have your real name in somewhere else where all the Muggle friends can not bother you. Um, yeah, so that's fine. But I would definitely suggest that if you have a magical name that you can use for magical purposes, it's magical information. Don't let that out. If you just want to have like a separate name online, just for purposes to make sure that all your information is kept straight in only a few places, I would just choose a different name. It doesn't have to be your magical name. And there are people I've known for like 15 years. I don't even know what their real name is. Because sometimes they don't identify with their real name. They identify with the magical one, if that makes any sense. Do do do. Do 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 do. Ask me questions. All right, Deanne says, the Syrian or La Serene, yes. Her energy, the sea, the treasures. I've been running from La Serene for quite some time. I may not outrun her pretty soon, but there you go. I met her once, and it scared the heck out of me, and I was done. Um, yeah, yeah. She's amazing. She's fantastic. She's terrifying, and that's a thing. So there we go. Leah asks, using magical names for magical businesses. Okay, so we're still back to it is magical DNA. It's magical something that's about you. If you need to for legal purposes to separate it from yourself, yes. But I wouldn't expend a lot of energy into getting that magical name and then using it non-magically. That makes sense, because like for myself, choosing the name for Beaux Magique was easy and difficult at the same time because I wanted to have all these fantastic things put in a name. But then at its core, I had to realize, what is it that I want? I want to give people finely crafted magic. I want to give them good magic. So Beaux Magique was born. Because we are also in Canada, and I'm giving a nod to my New Orleans ancestors as well, which is why I chose a French name. My New Orleans, Louisiana ancestors, and apparently my Nova Scotian ancestors, because ancestry is a thing. Um, but if you're going to choose a different name for a business, don't make it too magical, because you're going to be using it mundanely, if that makes any sense. You know, sure, if you want to choose a different magical name for yourself in your business, once again, you're going to have customers calling you by that name all the time. It's not going to be magical for them. It's just going to be your name. So I hope that makes some kind of sense. I'm hanging out. Oh my goodness, it's been an hour and a half, y'all. Okay, 9:30, almost 9:30. Nicole asks, "Is there a way to protect your home from negative energies coming in?" Yes. You may not like my answer though. Yes. So, magical energy of your home is an extension of yourself. So, if you have your own energy right, it's easy to extend that shielding to the home around you and have it stay. Um, Even if you don't want to do that, if you want to like put up a ward or a magical thing, whatever, you still have to have the energetic concentration and know how to put energy into something, a candle, a ward, a spell packet, whatever it is. Um, like if you buy anything for me, for protection, for like cleansing and things like that, you still have to do half the work. Yes, it is a spell in a bottle, it is half a spell. You have to do that. So unless till you get yourself right, um, your home will be okay. Remember, because once you live in your home for a while, it does take on its own energetic signature. Basically, as it gets a little bits of energy from you and the people who live there, it becomes its own entity. So you can talk to it, you can try to work with it, but still, unless you have yourself straight, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But yes, you can set wards. You can spray your doors and windows and door sills with eau de fluoride. Um, you can set up like little spells under your welcome mat. You can spell your door. There are all kinds of things you can do. However, got to get yourself straight. Otherwise, no matter what you do, it's not going to work well. Um, right. Yeah. I hope that helped. It's I wish I could lie to you or sort of Photoshop the truth there and tell you stuff that you want to hear. Like, sure, you can buy this product for $89.95 and it'll guard your house. Yeah, you can. However, my job as a priestess is to help you on your energetic path. I mean, as much as I want to have your money, I assure you, I would like to have all of your money. Well, maybe not all of it. I want you to keep some and then manifest more and give me more. Um, but still, you have to be a functioning spiritual member of your society. So you have to be able to do these things in order to play nice. So there have been times like I've been on the spiritual path for longer than I can actually remember, but there were times where I worked with the energy of wherever I lived, and I would come home, wake up in bed, but my door is wide open with the keys still in the door. My purse, all my money is downstairs, and nothing's happened. That's because I worked on this first and then extended it out to the point where I had all my protections up. Now those protections are down. I have to refresh them. I was supposed to refresh them maybe a year and a half ago. Haven't done it yet. But the idea that those places are guarded at all times is still there. So I don't have to work that hard on it, because I really do want you to be lazy witches. I want you to be able to use as much of the energy that's around you, the natural energy that's around you, before you burn yourself out, because that is something I see way too much in this line of work, is that everyone is trying so hard to do all the things magically when there are magical tools there available to you already. Hi, Sarah Ripley. Nice to see you. Yes, so, and it's not even a matter of helping you help yourself, Jen. It's a matter of, if you want to do the work, I will meet you halfway, but you got to want to do the work. I can tell you, and Isabel and a few other people will tell you, that I will talk people down from buying my products if I feel that they don't need them. Sure, you can come to my table, you can order online, and you can buy everything that I have. I had somebody buy one of everything and it blew my mind. However, if you're not going to use it, or you're going to, half step it, there's no point. It's just wasted money. And I don't want to be a part of that kind of money waste, right? Um, um, Nicole asked, when I've been burnt out, how do I recharge? Wow, we need a whole lot more time, and I need a whole lot of stuff that's stronger than water. But here we go. For myself, um, burnout happens. Too many people, too many events. I'm trying to do all the things all myself, and it's not working out. Literally, I burn out my own energy centers. Bad idea. Don't recommend. 1 star. Um, to recharge, I had to draw back. And that made a lot of my friends at the time really, really annoyed, because it looked like I ghosted them. Not ghosting y'all. I just need to like do my thing and recharge my batteries. Um, Now, recharging the batteries is a thing, because, Nicole, you have to know what your energy feels like. You have to know what it feels like when it's good, or when it's bad, or when it's only so-so. For myself, my energy felt like there was like, I'm ADHD, right? So I have music in my head. I have something constantly going in my head. I have a movie playing in my head all the time. And when I'm burnt out, it's just silence. There's nothing there. I can't make a decision. There's just nothing. I don't want to, it's not even I don't want to do anything. It's just that I can't do anything. I cannot summon up the will to even live. And I thank my lucky stars that I have an autonomous system that keeps my lungs pumping and my heart going. That's why they're there. Um, but when I'm burned out, I can't do that. And to recharge, like I said, I need to draw back. I need the silence for a little while. And basically, I have to front load all the things in my life for a while with things that make me happy. So there you go. And even if they don't make me happy at that moment, refilling your own energy centers, rebuilding those, it's a process, right? If we go back to kitchen witchery, I can't just put all the ingredients on a table and say, here you go, there's dinner. You got to put them together. So I front load in all the things that make me happy. I both ask for guidance from the spirits, and I also sort of like be a 3-year-old and says, I want to do it myself, but watch me while I do it in case I fall. So I'm looking for guidance I'm trying to put myself back together. And at one point in time, these things made me happy, because what makes you happy is part of what makes up a larger part of you. So whatever things that make you happy is like 3/4, it's a quarter of that pie. And then the rest of it springs from there. So doing all the things that make me happy. So I paint myself. I sing badly out loud. I play djembe sort of badly. Um, I cook. So I do those things that make me happy in hopes that I not even I reprogram my brain. I reset my energy and I reset my brain to say, oh yeah, I remember this part. So story time, boys and girls, because that's what it always is. It's Christmas Day. I spent Christmas Eve making pound cake. I'd spent all of Christmas morning making breakfast. I make my husband's plate. It's beautiful. So a few times he gets a plate made by me. It's fantastic. He's got the eggs on one side and the bacon and the hash brown. It's fantastic. And I bring him his plate and he's fine. He's got his coffee, whatever. I go to get my plate, my hands twitched because that's what they do, and my food goes everywhere. It's Christmas Day. I'm bawling my eyes out because I dropped my food on the floor. It was not good times. My husband, who pays attention, H stands for hero, he knows that I watch a lot of movies, certain kinds of movies, when I'm not feeling well. So, yes, I'm singing, I Am Moana, because that's the movie that he put on. And then Tangled was after that. And then it was Die Hard, because that's how it works out. Um, and it reminded part of my energy. It's like, oh, laughter, singing along, those things make me happy. And surely it took a few hours, but sure enough, I sort of came back. And it's kind of like that for burnout. It'll take longer though, especially if you keep dipping into that well of poison that basically got you burned out to begin with. So I have to remember, usually at Kaleidoscope Gathering, biggest pagan event in Canada, uh, I'm usually burned out by the end of it because I've just been on nonstop 7 days talking to people, helping people out, and just being, myself. Um, so by the end, I'm usually just done for. Last year, um, I got slightly smart. I got there early, too early, different story. I got there early. I set up my tent, my vending tent. I set up my camping tent, and I spent like 4 days just chilling in my tent and hanging out. And that was it. And that basically helped the burnout phase because I was already cool going into Fest. And then by the end of it, I was still mostly cool. And it wasn't the horrid, I'm so exhausted, I just have to load the car and, my body's falling apart. It wasn't that bad. So burning out, basically, I basically made myself not burn out by doing all the self-care beforehand. But that's how I am. You have to know your own energy. You have to know what makes you happy. And those are the things that help you recharge. Because if you know what happy feels like, you can always program your energy and program yourself into getting back to that. You can literally remap your emotions and your energy to the state of happiness. Doing the homework, daily energetic exercises, doing the meditation, and then doing the other energy work of knowing how you feel, knowing what you do. And then after all of that, you still are factoring in, are your shields, sort of energy tight? Are they leaking anywhere? Is the psychic tide happening because we're full moon, we're in Cancer, there's an eclipse, you know, and then are the bigger planets in retrograde or not, or whatever's happening. But once you have an idea of all of that and how it all feels, burnout gets a lot easier because logically you can say, okay, I am rock bottom, and then I went down another 4 floors, so I'm beyond rock bottom. What do I need to do? One, check the moon. All right, moon phase is waning. That means I'm getting rid of all the other crap that goes along with feeling burnout, chucking it all, and then you can basically make that part of your spell, because spell work doesn't necessarily have to mean sacred spaces and candles and herbs and things like that. Spell work is anything that you can do energetically. So, once the moon wanes, you get to new moon, you literally have a reboot. And then you work with the waxing moon until it's full. And I can guarantee you that you will find shifts in your thinking, shifts in your energy, you'll get stronger, and you will start to come back from burnout a lot faster. Right. So, Nicole, I hope that answered your question. Um, yeah. Hi, Dan. Nice to see you. Yeah. Did I get everybody? Hope I can see everyone and have a good time. Do 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 do. Someone else has joined us. See who it is. Do 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 do. It is Liam. Hi, Liam. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Mr. Fox. Hey. So yeah, I am just here. This year, after my last show, and then the I lied. This is my last show. I was pretty close to burnout. It was not happy, and I just had to like be done. I was so done for quite some time. So maybe about 2 weeks, I spent not doing anything with social media and just trying to get back to whatever it was. I slept a lot, which was fine. And then, yeah, I slept a lot. That was pretty much it. So, Wolf Pup, yes. When moving to a new country, oh, good God, what energy do you work with to recommend when you first get there? Oh, my goodness. I don't have time to unpack all of that. Okay, so if you're moving to a new country, I would suggest that the first thing you do is work with the land spirits, the spirit of the country itself, and the land spirits of where you're going to live. Because let's be real, hi Lori Jean, let's be real that house spirits and land spirits and local fairies they will mess your stuff up. Let's be real. They will, because you're a foreigner, you don't know their ways, etc., etc., etc. So the first thing I would do is appeal to the spirit of the country, appeal to the local spirits of where you are, and say, hi, I promise I'm not going to mess things up. I'm really, really a nice person. Here's some offerings. And they got to be appropriate, because you're not going to go to India and give offerings that are meat. That's a bad idea. No, no, no. But yes, so that's what I would do. Working with land spirits, genus loci is a big thing, and not just in importance. It is a big thing because you're working with just big energies. Because Canada itself, let's have an example, is a big energy. It's not just the stereotypes that we see. It's a big thing because the land is alive. When you're in the States, it's not just the United States, but each state itself has its own energy as well. So you have to work with all of that. And then local spirits after that, it can get complicated. But if you are an experienced user, and yes, you are, Matthew, you will be up to the task and up to the work, and you'll find that things will go a lot easier for you, energetically, as well as just on the way. Because if you're learning about the country, if you're learning about the country's energy, you're actually now in tune with the people as well. So I hope that answered your questions. Mwah. Mwah, Lori Jean. Mwah. All right, so more questions. We have about 15 minutes left before I have to go to bed because I'm old. Good times. Yeah, so we have time for a little bit more questions. So if anyone has anything to ask, go right ahead, put it in the chat box. I will read it, and then probably go brush my teeth and go to bed. It was a long day in the lab today. I was making all kinds of things, and then realizing that my space didn't work anymore, and calling my husband down and say, I need to rearrange this. But of course, I'm a Taurus, so I didn't want to budge on anything that he suggested, because I'm a dork like that. Thank goodness I'm cute, as I say to Rebecca Spirit. Oh, I'm so cute. Thank goodness. Thank goodness I'm cute. So yeah, so it's been a long day in the lab. It's going to be a longer day tomorrow because it is wedding weekend for me. In case anyone forgot, I am a licensed wedding officiant for Ontario. um, which means I can marry people, I can bury people. I have had all the background checks. Pretty sure there's a microchip in my butt. Uh, yeah, so I can talk to people in crisis. So that's the thing. So yes, wedding weekend for me tomorrow. I'm going to go to Port Perry. Apparently, I'm supposed to go to Hank's Pastries. Somebody has to let me know how that's going to work out. And yeah, um, Nicole asked the basics of candle magic. That's like a 3 hour. It's a 3 hour broadcast because candle magics are okay. So I would try in a nutshell. Um, so basics. How can I get it down to like 10 minutes or so? Ugh. Okay, let's see. Right. So if you imagine wax, candle wax, it's pliable, it is malleable, it will, it'll get translucent and kind of gooey if you hold it for too long. So candle wax, think of it as body, as flesh. Flesh can be anything. It can be big, it can be small, it could be an eye, it could be an ear, it could be anything. And think of the wick. So usually cotton rolled, and you think of the wick as the bones. So if we liken it to a body, the flesh is the wax, and the bones is the wick. That je ne sais quoi, that little spark of something, our souls or whatever you want to call it, that keeps this body going and keeps our brains going, is fire. So candle magics basically is we are creating a little energy construct, a little golem of our intention, of our wishes, of our prayers, of our petitions together. And when we light that candle, we are bringing it to life. And that's about as basic as I can get it. Um, and of course, you have your candle sizes, tea lights, 7-day candles, tea lights, 7-day candles, jar candles, photos. Sizes correspond with how long the work should take, or how long the work will manifest, or how strong your will is. So tea lights usually burn for 2 or 3 hours. Um, Photos, if you make a good one like Kelly's candles, her photos can burn from anywhere from 24 to 36 hours nonstop. Of course, there are jar candles that are like 3 or 4 day candles. There are the taller 7-day candles, which actually aren't 7 days anymore. They may be like 4, but whatever. So, yeah. Nicole asks, is there a book? Oh my goodness, there are so many books. So many books about candle magic. And yeah. Um, Once again, I would suggest that you go to Witch School and look at their courses. There should be one in there. Yeah. If not Witch School, you can look at on YouTube for the first degree in YouTube, first degree of Corellian. Do do do. Do 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 do. Yeah, you can look for the first degree there. And Reverend Don Lewis talks about anointing candles and candle magic. Laura Jean, yes, I do funerals. We can definitely talk about that later. Yes, Chen, don't burn down your house. You can anoint candles as well. So if you think of the candle as flesh, or even like a computer program, when you hit the enter button, that's command, lights it on fire. Using anointing candles, using oils on candles, creates what we call a psychic connection. So basically, you think of the oil as an extra bit of blood. So you are basically putting that intention from yourself into the candle, to do the thing. Um, so yes, So even if it's just olive oil, it doesn't matter. You are creating a connection with it, saying, "This is what I want. These are extra intentions." It's also like putting clothes on a candle, saying, "Okay, if your candle's going to go out into the winter, you got to put on a coat. If it's going to go out into the summer, you put on some sunscreen." So you're basically clothing the candle in a certain way of what you want it to do. Laura Jean says, use natural candles, intent, 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 focus, 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 make a plan, because if you just do the candle, it's only halfway. You still got to make that plan. That's all a part of, assuming that the magic is going to happen. It's basically you do the magic and then you literally just walk out saying, yep, spell's done, everything's going to happen, and you act like it because you're meeting the universe halfway there. Thank you, Jen. Jen says that my oils are amazing. I try really hard, and if I find that any problems, I try to fix them. So that's all I got with that one. Yes. Trying to figure out if I got it all in there. Yeah. So you'll find if you Google color correspondences, you'll find all kinds of information about candle. Or even if you Google candle magic, you're gonna find an awful lot of stuff that's out there about it, and they will tell you about colors and herbs and intention and shapes and things like that. It's a lot. Yeah, my class for candle magic is about 3 hours. So, and I do go through a lot of things. However, I can't do it all here because it's just a lot of stuff. So, yeah, Nicole, I hope that it started you the right way. I hope, and we'll get there. All right, so we are almost at 10 o'clock. It is 9:53. I just want to thank everybody for coming out. Thanks for having me on your screen for a while. Just to save some time, I'm going to put some links just in a chat. It is the Beaux Magique site, us on Twitter, us on Instagram, us on Tumblr, and our email address. Just to save time, throw that out there. As I said before, I am a licensed wedding officiant, and you can find my Facebook, my website, and my All Seasons Weddings profile. If you'd like to have me for your wedding, please ask for a quote. Go and call the phone number. And if I have done a wedding for you, please send in a review, even if you hated me. I just like some feedback because I just want to know, right? Yes, I was supposed to do something else. I can't remember what it was, but that's okay. The replay of this, which will happen, and I will leave up. But once this is all done downloading, I will upload it on the tube of YouTube, and I will put that link right there. Thank you, Jen. You rock as well. Like I said, I just want to thank you. You all are my community. I love you very much, and I'm a priestess for you, and this is what I love doing. So, yeah, thank you so much. Have a great night. Hope you're enjoying this Cancer full moon. Please get the tissues if you haven't already, and the chocolate pretty close. I'm going to have something a little bit stronger than wine. I mean, stronger than water. Definitely a Freudian slip there. Yes, and relax. 2020 is going to be a fantastic year. I'm going to be in a whole bunch of new places with a whole bunch of new faces and new people, as well as old friends like all of you. So thank you so much. I love you. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.